In the glittering world of Philippine cinema during the 1980s and early 1990s, few young stars burned as brightly as Jon Hernandez. Known affectionately as Jon to his family and friends, this talented actor's life was tragically cut short at the tender age of 23, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate with Filipino film enthusiasts today. His story is one of promise, talent, and heartbreaking loss that reminds us how fragile life can be, even when you're living your dreams. Born Jon Leonard Hernandez Salvador on October 9, 1969, in Manila, Philippines, Jon didn't just stumble into the entertainment industry by chance. Acting was quite literally in his blood. His father was Ross Rival, a respected actor in his own right, and his mother was Alicia Alonzo, who had carved out her own successful career in Philippine cinema. Growing up in such an artistic household, young Jon was exposed to the world of filmmaking from his earliest years, watching his parents navigate the complexities of show business with grace and determination. But the family connections didn't stop there. Jon's lineage reads like a who's who of Philippine entertainment royalty. His uncle was Anthony Alonzo, another celebrated actor who had made his mark in the industry. Even more impressively, he was the nephew of Lou Salvador, one of the most iconic action stars in Philippine cinema history. His cousin, Maja Salvador, was also making waves in the industry, having been part of the original Bagets movie cast. Perhaps most remarkably, Jon was the brother of Maja Salvador, who would later become one of the Philippines' most beloved actresses and dancers, though her rise to fame would come after Jon's tragic passing. Growing up surrounded by such talent and success, it seemed almost inevitable that Jon would follow in their footsteps. As a child star, he began appearing in minor roles in movies and several commercials, learning the craft from the ground up. Even as a young boy, there was something special about his presence on screen. Directors and producers began to take notice of this earnest young performer who brought both natural talent and professional dedication to every role, no matter how small. The transition from child actor to leading man isn't always smooth in the entertainment industry, but Jon managed it with remarkable ease. As he grew older, his boyish charm and natural charisma made him a perfect fit for the teen heartthrob roles that were so popular in Philippine cinema during the late 1980s and early 1990s. He had that rare combination of accessibility and appeal that made teenage audiences swoon while also earning the respect of industry veterans who recognized his genuine talent. Jon's breakthrough came when he was cast in Bagets 2, a highly anticipated sequel to the successful teen comedy drama that had captured the hearts of Filipino audiences. The original Bagets had been a cultural phenomenon, perfectly capturing the spirit and struggles of Filipino youth in the 1980s. Being cast in the sequel was a massive opportunity for Jon, and he seized it with both hands. His performance in the film showcased not just his acting ability, but also his natural chemistry with his co-stars and his ability to bring depth to what could have been a superficial character. The success of Bagets 2 opened doors for Jon that many young actors could only dream of. Suddenly, he was being offered leading roles in major productions, and his face was appearing on magazine covers across the Philippines. But unlike many young stars who might have been overwhelmed by sudden fame, Jon seemed to handle the pressure with maturity beyond his years. Those who worked with him during this period consistently described him as professional, dedicated, and genuinely kind to everyone on set, from the biggest stars to the most junior crew members. Following the success of Bagets 2, Jon appeared in several other notable films that further cemented his status as one of the most promising young actors of his generation. He starred in Row 4, Valedictorians, another film that resonated strongly with young Filipino audiences. The movie dealt with the experiences of students and the challenges they faced, themes that were very relevant to Jon's core audience. His performance showed a growing maturity as an actor, demonstrating that he wasn't just a pretty face but someone who could handle complex emotional material. Another significant role came in Sambahan Ang Nalan Mo, where Jon had the opportunity to work alongside some of the biggest names in Philippine cinema. The film was a departure from his typical teen-oriented roles, showing his range as an actor and his willingness to take on more challenging material. Industry insiders began to whisper that Jon had the potential to become one of the Philippines' biggest stars, not just for his generation but for years to come. His filmography also included Pita, Terroring Kaloocan, which was released in 1993, the same year as his tragic death. This film would prove to be one of his final performances, and many who saw it remarked on the maturity and depth that Jon brought to his role. It was clear that he was evolving as an actor, moving beyond the teen heartthrob image to embrace more complex and challenging characters. But perhaps what made Jon truly special wasn't just his acting ability, but his approach to his craft and his relationships with those around him. Unlike some young stars who might have developed egos or become difficult to work with, Jon remained grounded and focused on his work. He was known for being punctual, prepared, and always willing to put in the extra effort to make a scene work. Directors loved working with him because he brought both talent and professionalism to every project. His lifestyle during his peak years was that of a typical young star of the era. He enjoyed the perks of fame, attending industry events and premieres, but those close to him said he never let success go to his head. He remained close to his family, often speaking in interviews about how grateful he was for their support and guidance. His parents, both being industry veterans, helped him navigate the sometimes treacherous waters of show business, ensuring that he made smart career choices and avoided the pitfalls that had claimed other young stars. While exact figures about Jon's net worth during his lifetime are difficult to determine, it's clear that his success in films was translating into financial security. He was commanding significant fees for his roles, and his popularity was such that producers were willing to pay premium rates to secure his services. He was also reportedly being courted by various endorsement deals, which would have further increased his earning potential. But beyond the money and the fame, what seemed to drive Jon was a genuine love for acting and storytelling. In interviews, he would often talk about his desire to take on more challenging roles and to work with directors who could help him grow as an artist. He had dreams of eventually moving behind the camera as well, perhaps following in the footsteps of other successful Filipino actors who had transitioned into directing and producing. The year 1993 seemed to be setting up as a pivotal one for Jon's career. He had several projects in development, and there was talk of him being considered for some major international collaborations. His career trajectory seemed to be pointing toward even greater success, with industry insiders predicting that he would become one of the Philippines' biggest international stars. After wrapping up his filming commitments for the year, Jon decided to take a well-deserved break. Like many young people his age, he planned an out-of-town trip with his friends, looking forward to some time away from the pressures and demands of his career. It was meant to be a fun, relaxing getaway, a chance to recharge and spend time with the people who mattered most to him. The morning of November 7, 1993, started like any other day during their trip. Jon and his friends were preparing to return home, probably discussing their plans for the week ahead and the projects that awaited them. None of them could have imagined that this ordinary morning would end in tragedy. The details of what happened next remain etched in the memories of those who loved Jon. As they were driving home from their out-of-town trip, their car encountered an unlit section of the expressway. In those crucial moments, visibility was severely limited, and the concrete barrier that would claim Jon's life was practically invisible until it was too late. The impact was devastating and instantaneous. Jon Hernandez died on November 7, 1993, at just 23 years old. The cause of death was the severe trauma sustained when their car crashed into the concrete barrier. The medical reports indicated that he died instantly, which, while providing little comfort to those who loved him, at least meant that he didn't suffer. The news of his death sent shockwaves through the Philippine entertainment industry and left his fans devastated. The circumstances surrounding his death highlighted a serious issue that plagued Philippine highways at the time. The unlit section of the expressway where the accident occurred was known to be dangerous, and Jon's death brought attention to the need for better road safety measures. His tragic end served as a stark reminder of how quickly life can change and how even the brightest stars can be extinguished in an instant. The funeral of Jon Hernandez was a testament to the impact he had made in his short life. Hundreds of fans gathered to pay their respects, many of them young people who had looked up to him as an idol and inspiration. Fellow actors, directors, and industry professionals shared stories of his kindness, professionalism, and the bright future that had been cut short. His family, while devastated by their loss, drew strength from the outpouring of love and support from people whose lives Jon had touched. Jon was laid to rest at Loyola Memorial Park, joining other beloved Filipino celebrities like Julie Vega, Jay Ilagan, Nita Blanca, and Francis Magalona. The fact that he was buried alongside such legendary figures speaks to the impact he had made in his brief but brilliant career. His grave became a place of pilgrimage for fans who continued to visit and leave flowers, photos, and messages of love and remembrance. The legacy that Jon Hernandez left behind is complicated by the brevity of his life and career. While he didn't have the chance to achieve the full potential that many saw in him, his impact on Philippine cinema and on the lives of those who knew him was profound. His films continue to be watched and appreciated by new generations of fans, and his story serves as both inspiration and cautionary tale about the fragility of life. In the years following his death, his sister Maja Salvador would go on to become one of the Philippines' biggest stars, carrying on the family tradition of excellence in entertainment. Many who knew Jon say that he would have been incredibly proud of Maya's success and that he would have been her biggest supporter and cheerleader. The Salvador family's continued prominence in Philippine entertainment serves as a living tribute to Jon's memory and the artistic legacy he helped establish. The circumstances of Jon's death also led to important conversations about road safety in the Philippines. His tragic end highlighted the need for better infrastructure and safety measures on the country's highways. While this couldn't bring Jon back, it did help prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future, giving his death a purpose beyond the immediate grief it caused. For fans of Philippine cinema, Jon Hernandez represents the promise of what might have been. His performances in films like Bagets 2 and his other works continue to be celebrated for their authenticity and emotional depth. He had a rare ability to connect with audiences, particularly young people, in a way that felt genuine and unforced. His characters weren't just roles he played, they were reflections of the hopes, dreams, and struggles of an entire generation. Today, more than 30 years after his death, Jon Hernandez is remembered not just as an actor who died too young, but as a talented artist who made the most of the time he had. His story reminds us that success isn't just measured in years or in the number of films made, but in the impact one has on the lives of others. In his brief 23 years, Jon managed to touch countless lives, create memorable performances, and leave behind a legacy that continues to inspire new generations of actors and filmmakers. His death also serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of road safety and the need to cherish every moment we have with our loved ones. The entertainment industry can be unpredictable and demanding, but at the end of the day, it's our relationships with family and friends that matter most. Jon's decision to spend time with his friends, even though it led to tragedy, speaks to his values and his understanding of what was truly important in life. The story of Jon Hernandez is ultimately one of a young man who lived his dreams, even if those dreams were cut short. He experienced the joy of seeing his name in lights, of hearing audiences applaud his performances, and of knowing that his work brought happiness to others. While we can only imagine what other great performances he might have given or what other heights he might have reached, we can be grateful for the work he did leave behind and the example he set for how to live life with passion, dedication, and kindness. As we remember Jon Hernandez today, we celebrate not just his achievements as an actor, but his character as a person. He was a young man who understood the value of hard work, who treated everyone with respect regardless of their position, and who never forgot where he came from. His legacy lives on in the films he made, in the memories of those who knew him, and in the continued success of the Salvador family in Philippine entertainment. If you've been moved by Jon's story and want to learn more about the golden age of Philippine cinema and the stars who shaped it, please consider subscribing to our channel. We regularly explore the lives and legacies of the Philippines' greatest entertainers, sharing their stories with new generations who might not otherwise hear them. And if this video has touched your heart, please give it a like and share it with others who might appreciate learning about this remarkable young actor whose light burned brightly, even if it was extinguished far too soon. Jon Hernandez may be gone, but his story and his contributions to Philippine cinema will never be forgotten.